Hey you guys, Eilers-Heffner. I just wanted to jump in here. Something that's been on my heart, on my mind, especially heading into this new year, of tips and just things that have come up through conversations that I wanted to follow up with. Okay, so here's the thing. We don't have to chase all the shiny new things. We don't have to go, oh my gosh, I need the perfect reel. I need a reel to go viral so that I have a study or a following so I can make more sales. I need, the perfect niche and the perfect brand. No, none of that is true. Or I need to get a degree or a certification in health or nutrition or something. None of that is true. So here's the thing. I have a doctorate degree in physical therapy. I have a bachelor's in applied health science. Every once in a while, someone will say, well, you're a PT, so I know that I can trust you with my vitamins or whatever, every once in a while. It is not what is selling Plexus for me. That is not what people aren't like, oh, she's a PT, so I'm going to join her Plexus team. No. Not true. I mean, yes, some of you who have known me and you've worked with me, and you're like, wow, she's doing this business that looks interesting. Like, yeah, sure. Or I work with her, I know where I'm going to, but we could be cash register people together at Meijer, and you would be like, oh, I like her, I'm going to join her, right? It doesn't take my career or my degree that's going to want people to join my team. Okay. And you guys know me. A lot of you know me in real life, right? And you know that I'm not perfect. You know that I'm a real person, that I'm growing, that I have things I'm working on, that I am not perfect, that I struggle with being on time, right? And so, and you know that I'm here, I got your back, and I'm going to help you. And that's why we're having this conversation. So to lead ourselves, it really comes down to doing the boring. And this comes to all areas of our life. Like, okay, if we want to free our brain space up, then we develop really good habits of, okay, I do laundry on Friday night or whatever night you choose. I don't. That's date night because that is set and that's part of our routine, right? But say you want to do your laundry Sunday and then you set out all your work outfits for the week. I mean, this was great when I wore scrubs to work, I was working at the hospital. Like, I would just, okay, these are my outfits, and I would rotate them so that every Friday I didn't wear the same outfit. A little bit of thought, but not so much that I was paralyzed in what I was gonna wear, right? And my mom uniform is jeans and a sweater, or leggings and a sweater, or a sweatshirt. Like, pretty simple, right? That's one example. Getting your workout clothes out the night before if you're a gym workout person. When I was working like years ago, I would go to work out after work. And so I would change my clothes before I would leave work. So there was no barrier or excuse not to go work out. I have friends that sleep in their workout clothes so that when they get up and hear that alarm, they literally brush their teeth, grab their water, and they're out the door. I fill my water cup. I get my little vitamins out before I go to bed so that I just grab those things in the morning. And it comes down to just being disciplined in the boring every single day and freeing our brain. So foods, like, I've been really diligent about trying to have lean every day. Vacation has been different, having the kids home and just having a more relaxed schedule. But I started this week, like, all right, I got to get back into having lean every day because it gives me lots of protein. It's healthy. It's easy, right? But I don't like eating the same thing every day. So I've decided, okay, I'm going to grab some frozen mixes. I'm going to have my PB2 on hand. Maybe I'll mix it with coffee someday so I can mix up how I'm consuming my lean to get the change, but yet still choose the same thing pretty easily and not have a lot of thinking. Getting up that first alarm. And this is something that I am not good at, and that is a definite goal for this year. And I think that we're all more successful in that when we go to bed properly and we go to bed on time, and that we have those good bedtime routines. And then setting the 3 priorities and being realistic. So setting before you go to bed, you can write in your planner or write in your notes app on your phone, or jot it down on a notebook next to your bed. And I've heard of this too, like keeping a notebook pad next to your bed. So when you think of things or something wakes you up, that doesn't usually happen to me, but I know it does happen to some people, having that available to jot those down so we're not trying to remember. That brain dump on Sundays, get those thoughts out, and then plug them into the week as you go, or plan it all out on Sunday if you want to do that. I tend to look at 3 days at a time with, okay, basketball schedule. Okay, do we have any orthodontic appointments? Okay, do I have something going on? Oh wait, now we're coming up on the new year, so there's eye appointments and dental appointments again. So I look at things ahead of time, making sure I know. But setting those 3 realistic priorities for every day. And I set a business priority, I set a personal, like, family priority, and then I set a household priority. Like, okay, today is whatever, I'm gonna make sure the floors are clean before the end of the day. It doesn't mean that I don't do other household chores. It means that's the priority that has to get done. And I'm obviously doing other things all throughout the day as well, but setting that one thing, one in each area of our life that has to get done. And that comes down to getting the IPA done for our businesses. IPA, it's not exciting. It is not flashy. It's discipline. It's boring. It just is. And it just means you sit down and you send your 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 messages out and you just get it done. And then you set another block later in your day for maybe following up. And then you set another block for following up with your team and your current people using their products. Like, it is not that hard. It's not difficult. It's just setting the time and realizing what you want to do with those blocks of time that you're making for yourself. And hey, if you can do it all in an hour and a half, 2 hours all in a row, then do it. But if not, and you need to break it up, then decide which block of time each day, that is what you're doing during that time. That is it. I know several years ago, we talked a lot about time blocking. And I had a girl ask, well, what do I do when the kids are crazy and it's after school, after work time? Like, that's your time block. That's your family time. That's your time for everyone to be crazy. That's your time to stop by the park. That's your time to run to the grocery store for that 2 things you needed for whatever reason. That's your time to go do the returns. That's your time to go home and get the kids outside and get the bubbles out and do whatever. I mean, that's the time to throw them out in the snow we don't have. That's the time to go for a family walk, whatever. That's the time block when it's witching hour, when it's crazy, when it's a big transition time and big feelings for our kids or even ourselves coming down from a busy day, right? There is no time block then. That is the time block. Crazy time. That's it. And it's okay. And just definitely scheduling family time, scheduling phone away time. When you're working at your job, work at your job. Get your job done. Focus on your job. Does that mean that you can take your lunch break and do your IPA? Absolutely. Does that mean you take your lunch break and go for a walk? Absolutely. Because guess what? They're not paying you to work on your lunch. They're using you and you're allowing it, okay? So take your breaks and do what you need to do. When I was working full time, my IPA times changed. And I remember at one point when my kids were a little bit older and my husband was already home and I was already gone for a very long day. And so I would work really hard all day long, get my patient seen, realize, okay, how many units do I have? How many do I need to meet expectation? Get all of my notes done, eat while I was typing. Like, I wouldn't stop until I had all my units in, until I had my patient seen. Then I'd come down, I'd scarf down lunch, type. Then I would do my IPA before I would go home because I could sit in a quiet place and think and get it done, right? I know some people will sit in their car and work for half an hour before they pick up their kids, whatever. And you do what you have to do to make it work. And when we stay focused and do the boring, right? Like, okay, going for the walk every day, not exciting, not difficult, but will it produce really good results and big results over the course of a month or 2 months or 3 months or a year? Absolutely. So just doing the boring. And then just staying focused. Remember your why. Remember why you're doing this. Put the visual reminders up on your mirror. Put them in I had a dream board in my laundry room because where did I spend a lot of my time when I had little kids? My laundry room and my kitchen. I also had a dream board up next to my kitchen sink. those were the things that I could see often and focus on and realize, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm listening to a video or whatever while I'm doing the dishes and folding the laundry. And it doesn't mean I wasn't available to my kids, right? They'd say, oh, mama, I need this. Because I would set them up. Here, you're doing this while I do the dishes. And if they needed me, I'm like, pause. Yes, how can I help you? There was no like, oh, wait, hold on, I'm listening to this thing. No, like, you can pause the video. IPA, I mean, I've talked about this, but as a quick reminder, like, I would set my kids up to do specific things, and I would sit on the computer, sit at the table with them. They were playing Play-Doh, they were painting, they were playing Legos, they were doing blocks. I gave them the activities to do. I did my IPA, and it didn't make me unavailable, but it allowed us all to have focused time at that time. So then the other thing that I wanted to remind you of, because I ordered these. So Fallon has been talking about this lately, the GoPro video series by Eric Worre. Not exciting. I found these on eBay for like $20. They were wrapped up in the cellophane, like brand new, hadn't been touched. 25 bucks, I don't know, but with shipping it was definitely less than 30 bucks. It showed up at my door, so on eBay. And this is what you're looking for, is this set. So that's what we need to do. We need to get on the Eric Worre over and over. That's what Fallon did. She listened to Eric Worre over and over and over in the car while she was doing the dishes, while she was cooking, while she was cleaning. She listened to Eric Worre, and her kids listened to it too. And that's how she grew her business. It was because she did what he says. And as a reminder, the stuff that these super awesome successful jewels are doing and diamonds are doing and saying what they're doing in their training, what they're saying in their training, you guys, it's not anything new than what they were saying back in 2017 when I was working a business and starting a business. It was no different. No different. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. And we are always learning and always growing because we're doing our book clubs, we're talking to people, and that's what it is. And Eric Worre says a lot that we probably don't have a quality issue, we probably have a quantity issue. And I think sometimes we think, okay, I did my 3 new outreaches for the day, and that's gonna make me diamond in 2 months. That's not it. Especially if you don't have a lot of conversations coming back to you, that's not gonna cut it. That's not even probably gonna get you 3 joins a month. It could. It depends on your network, your warm market, where you are in that warm market, how much influence you have, that kind of thing. And that is all influenceable. That is stuff you can learn. But we just have to be talking to more people. And the other book, I've talked about this recently a lot too, is the Go for No book. It's super tiny. It's up on my shelf. It's super tiny, and it reads like a fable. It reads like a story. I read it in like 2 nights. I'm not a huge quantity reader. I listen a lot. I do read, but I read like a lot of things. So it takes me a while. And that book I just read really, really fast because it reads like a storybook. It's really good. And this idea of going for no. And so it's great. You have somebody that actually answers you and says, no, I'm not interested in Plexus. Well, hallelujah. That's a celebration. That means that your communication with them was effective and that they cared to continue to have a conversation with you and they answered you. I think that we're going to get a lot better responses back when we continue to implement the Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. And thanks to Yoshana, we have a file with some cheat conversation starters and the questions that he proposed in there, right? So thank you, Yoshana. That looks awesome. So we have all of these tools, and it really isn't like, oh, I need the perfect. No, you just need to be disciplined and to keep going and to have more conversations. And I think too, like I said, like scheduling those times of doing the work, because then we're doing the work instead of thinking all day and thinking about it and thinking about the people we want to talk to and thinking about who we might have a conversation with or thinking about the person we need to follow up with. And we do all this thinking, but that's not actual work. And it's good to think. It's good to think about our business and what we can do. But thinking and like feeling like it's looming over our head is not productive. So staying focused, getting it done. That's why my resolutions this year are not like resolutions. They're working on being on time, a lot more frequently than I am. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm just not. I'm not, I mean, maybe I'll be a lot more perfect, but there's a lot of moving parts in me getting somewhere. And so I'm going to work really, really hard on making way better, like preemptive efforts to make sure those moving parts are stop moving before a specific time I need to leave, right? I can do that. I can be proactive. And that's my goal, right? To be proactive, to anticipate more of those wrenches in the wheel, so to speak, more effectively, right? So doing that. And just making sure that I'm doing the things that I know are good for my soul and my body. So spending time with the Lord very diligently before anything else, and getting to the gym and doing a walk a day. And my goal for a walk is literally 10 minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes. That's my goal. That's it. Oftentimes it's more, but that's my goal because I'm already working out and it's cold out. When it's nicer out, I can definitely tolerate more, but that's okay, because that 15-minute walk every single day, 10-minute walk every single day is definitely going to produce results. Okay? So anyway, those are my encouragements to you. Those are my reminders to you. Maybe they're first time ideas for you, and that's awesome too. So stay connected, fall in love with doing the boring, eat the same thing every day so you don't think about meals, right? Wear the same. That's a capsule wardrobe idea. I'm not into capsule wardrobes. However, I appreciate the idea of it, right? So getting those things honed in so our brain space can be filled to be more productive. And that's also the decluttering your house idea right now. Like the more that you're looking at and having to manage, the more your time and energy is spent towards that. And so working on decluttering a drawer that when you open and you can't find anything, then take 5 minutes and declutter it, get rid of stuff. So when you do open it, it takes you 10 seconds to find what you need instead of 3 minutes to find what you need, right? That 3 minutes over 3 times a week is 9 minutes versus cleaning it out for 10 minutes. And now for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months before it gets messy again, it only takes you 10 seconds when you look in it, right? So those ideas. So it's all about The Slight Edge, which we're reading right now and kicking off tonight. But it really does come down to the slight edge. So being realistic, setting the priority or 3 priorities, and just doing the little efforts over time, and it will produce huge results. Sapphire here telling you that, and I am nothing special. I'm just a worker and consistent. All right, have a good night.